Today's episode is going to be pretty interesting. We're going to describe and show how we took the steering that was originally in the Jeep behind the front axle and moved it in front of the front axle and made that work. It's got two elements that are important. One is this product called Steer Clear, which is an amazing product. I've used it on a couple of vehicles now, and it lets you space out where your steering is going to go. And then the other thing is the steering box itself. We're using a right-hand drive steering box like they use on the Jeeps that deliver the mail. So there's a lot of them out there, and we're putting it in backwards. So that clue came to me from Alan, who did the Jeep for Moab. That was a Jeep Corporation, did an FC-150 Restomod, and they did the same thing. They didn't exactly show how they did it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So this is the Steer Clear unit, and I called the actual factory and talked to the owner and creator of this, and asked him, can I put both shafts on the same side of the Steer Clear? And he said absolutely. You just have to take out these screws, and inside the Steer Clear there's a chain, and you flip the unit around, you're able to have both shafts on the same side, which is what I need for the FC. So they said to actually keep the unit in a vise securely so that the chain continues to fall down. So I'm going to try it. I've not done it before. Might as well try it on camera. There's a bearing, beautiful bearing. It's sealed. Doesn't require any lubrication. Yeah, inside there you can see what it looks like. There is a chain. So here goes. Take it off the chain. These Steer Clears are beautifully made. Take that sprocket out. Turn it around. I think most people want it on the same side or on the opposite side, so that's why they manufacture it that way. But it looks like it's real simple to change. That's it. Test it. Yep. Perfect. So I've got two different sizes of shafts for my steering. I got this 36 spline. I've got two different sizes of shafts that I have to deal with. I have this 36 spline 3/4 inch that goes on the Steer Clear, and I think it's 32 spline 3/4 inch plus a flat side and a clamp that goes on the steering box for the Jeep. What I did is I chucked it up in my lathe and I parted it off, leaving a slight little lip here, very thin, that's just enough to fit into this flange, and it fits tight, but it has to, so that it's centered when I weld it. So that's how I'm going to do it, and it's going to get welded, and then I'll have both sides. There it is, welded up. There it is, welded up, and I chucked it up in the lathe to make sure it was concentric, and yes, it's centered. So I'm using this right-hand drive power steering box, and I'm putting it on backwards. That was the idea from the Jeep company when they did one of these. To do that, I'm using one of the bosses, I think it's this one, and I'm drilling a new hole there, which I drilled a 1-inch hole, and I'm going to put a 1-inch solid steel with a hole through it up there. And then I also, if you can see that one, I put one more on top of the frame. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bolt it all in and then tack in this last one so that it all fits. This is a closer look at the one I put in up top there. So there it is, it's tacked in place. 3 bolts are in. This one's loosened up and tacked on this side. That happened to fall kind of right where the hook slot is, the hold down slot, but that shouldn't matter. I'm going to weld it all the way around, solid bar all the way through. So that's what it looks like all set up. Notice that the pitman arm is going forward. That lets it steer in the right direction. This one here is not used. Neither is this one down here. So here you see the steering box. Like I said, it's right-hand drive located backwards. So it's in front of the front axle. The steer clear is located and attached right there. Close-up of how that's done is there's attachment spline, female, that's bolted onto the male of the steering box and then the male of the steer clear. And then up there, and you can just see where it's mounted to the steering wheel shaft. Right there.